Russia is not about to collapse in Ukraine whatsoever. The U.S. is trying to create a narrative based on a couple of tactical retreats that scares the life out of me, because it sounds like what they intend to do is set off a nuclear device themselves, blame it on Russia, and use it as an excuse to have an absolute total war on Russia with American population's support. The American public's already been prepared for this over the last 5 years, certainly, since Russiagate. But now this projection by the U.S. between McMaster's and the others today is preparing the rest of the world for this, too. The Russian nuclear doctrine was stated very clearly, again, in this context, because the U.S. has announced that it intends to take down the Russian state and break Russia up. This has been coming out of various parts of the State Department and the CIA now, and even the White House. The Russians are pointing out this won't be tolerated, and they will use every weapon in their arsenal to prevent it from happening. More and more, I'm convinced the U.S. is looking for an opportunity to do a false flag, and then they're sowing the seeds of it now with these, latest statements from various people in the U.S. government. Russia reserves the right to use nuclear weapons to maintain the state of Russia also, by the way, and that's what they're referring to specifically here. If you look at the actions of the U.S. up to this point, they were bombing a nuclear power plant and blaming it on the Russians, then blowing up their own pipeline, supposedly. They blew up the Russians' pipeline and said the Russians did it. It's pretty clear where this talk is headed. The morons in Washington and the maniacs in Langley, the CIA headquarters, actually believe that they can bring the Russian state down and collapse to echo 1991. But that's not going to happen this time. The Russian government doesn't have the luxury of allowing it to happen, because the Russian people remember what happened after that, and they're not going to stand for it.